back. If you don't know me, my name is Sammy. My artist name is Blondie, and I am in the process of opening up an online art shop. And today I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I've been going through, sort of like getting started, materials. You know, I think it's something that anyone can do. It just takes a lot of like determination and yeah, it's a lot. So I'm here to talk to you about that today. So I have a couple notes on my iPad. So if you see me like looking down a lot, that is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna kind of start by like talking about how I got started. So I basically started the end of my sophomore year at the community college. I was in a portfolio class, and this class really set you up for, you know, getting out into the real world. Like all of my classes in the community college were like, here's how to do this, here's how to draw that, here's how to do color theory. But none of them were telling you like, cool, now that you know color theory and you've made a piece, now what do you do with it? So I feel like my portfolio class really set you up for like, you're not making any pieces in this class, you're taking the pieces you have, you're creating a portfolio, you're creating a brand, a name, you're putting yourself out there, you're getting on LinkedIn, Behance, like just everything. So that class honestly was so amazing. And I genuinely would not be where I am right now if it weren't for that class. Because a lot of those things like you don't think of. And, you know, creating a brand, color palette, like fonts, shapes, like everything that you want for your brand should be cohesive. And they really helped with that. So that was really amazing. And the class was just fun overall. My professors were amazing. So yeah, that's kind of where I started with like making like Blondie, my like color palette, things like that. And it really wasn't until that class that I really started getting comfortable in my own art style. So then once I had all those things figured out, that's when I made an Instagram, a TikTok, and a YouTube. So I think a big thing is like making sure that like your brand name can be the same on all three or however many platforms you're gonna have. So mine is blondie.art.studio on every platform except my email. My email is different. I personally think that's really important because if someone is trying to look you up and they know your YouTube, but they don't know your Instagram, they're not gonna be able to find you if your Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Patreon, Behance, everything is under a slightly different name. So, but when you're starting out, definitely make sure that you can claim your brand name, I guess. So the next thing is to start posting once you do have all your social media set up. So I just started posting on like TikTok. I feel like TikTok is the easiest when you're making short form content. It needs to be like eye-catching and like engaging, I guess. Like with YouTube, it's a lot harder, I feel like, to make like, I feel like with YouTube, it's a lot harder to make like longer, more interesting content because you have to entertain people for longer. Whereas like I have videos on YouTube that are like 20, 25, 30 minutes long. And it's like, I have to speak or like keep you engaged the entire time. Whereas on TikTok, it's like a 30-second video of me doing like a little like time lapse type thing, and it gets like thousands of views. So definitely like you kind of want to find your audience on different platforms because a video that might go viral on TikTok might not go viral on Instagram Reels. So what I personally do is I'll make a video on TikTok. I will then post it. I will download that video, and then I'm not sure if Instagram is the same way, but I know YouTube is very weird with their like copyright policy. So I can never keep the same audio. I don't think. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure I've posted a video before on YouTube and it got flagged for copyright because I used a song in like the background. So I'll make the video on YouTube, I'll download it, I'll repost it on Reels with a different song just in case they're like weird about their copyright stuff, and then I'll post it again on YouTube. And the thing is, different people find you on different platforms. So like, it's not like, so your audiences are going to be slightly different, whereas somebody might only follow you on YouTube, where someone else might follow you on TikTok and Instagram and they don't know you have a YouTube. So promoting yourself on all the different platforms so you can get like lots of traction, I guess, lots of like engagement, interactions, a bigger audience, stuff like that. But I do think it is important to sometimes only post things on certain platforms. I don't repost every single TikTok, just some of them. So I think it's important to keep, like, obviously on TikTok, it's not like Instagram. Instagram, you can have like still images. TikTok, you can have like the carousel, like the slides. But I wouldn't like repost an Instagram like still picture onto TikTok. So keeping certain things separate, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, but then also sharing videos throughout the platforms. So that was really important to me, and that's something that I kind of figured out like along the way. A big thing about Instagram is you get the most engagement on your page through Instagram Reels, which kind of sucks because I don't like making Instagram Reels. If I'm going to be so real, I prefer TikToks. So yeah, the next thing that I started was, once I had my platforms, I started making product to add to this store, this hypothetical store that like I haven't even like created yet. So I have been creating products. A couple of my other videos have shown like the little like sriracha charms, stickers, prints, you know, things like that. Like you really want to think like, what do I want to sell in my art shop? Like what, or whatever shop you're going to have. Personally for me, it's art. So what am I going to have in my art shop? What am I going to sell? How much am I going to sell it for? And how much like does it cost to make? Like you really want to like do all like the calculations for that kind of stuff. What supplies am I going to need? And stuff like that. So mainly my thing is going to be like stickers. I think that's probably going to be my best seller, just because they're cheap. They're, you know, small, they're versatile. Like you can put them on anything, and there's always a need for a sticker. You can put a sticker on anything. People love water bottles, so every time you get a new water bottle, you have to refill it with more stickers, like, duh. So stickers, prints, charms. I really want to get into zines. I think those are super cool. Yeah. I have like a whole bunch of ideas for things that I want to eventually add to my art shop once it's like a bigger thing. There's a couple artists that I watch on YouTube, and a lot of them have an art shop that they only open up for like a certain amount of time, and then once it closes, like you can't buy from them anymore, and then like they spend a couple months like remaking like stuff, and then they reopen the shop once they have like stock. And I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do, because yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm gonna get into that in another video, because I have a whole lot to buy for the shop that's coming up, and I don't know. There's just a lot of anxiety about like whether or not like, are people even gonna know about it? Like, I'm gonna open my art shop, I'm gonna get one sale. That's really gonna suck. So I just need to keep promoting, but I can't promote yet until I have the supplies to make the things that I need to promote. So it's a lot. Anyway, moving on. The next thing, I think I kind of mentioned this before, but like the materials that you'll need. So for myself, when I'm making stickers, prints, charms, stuff like that, charms, I did get manufactured. I only have one charm that I'm adding to my shop this go around. I ordered 16 of them, so when they're gone, they're gone. Probably I'm gonna keep one for myself, so 15. And yeah, so I got those manufactured. I wanted to manufacture, so here's my thing. I had mentioned in other videos that I was going to be manufacturing both stickers and prints. The second I sat down and I did the math on manufacturing versus making it home, obviously making at home was significantly cheaper, like disgustingly cheaper. Okay, like for instance, when I was manufacturing, I've only manufactured one sticker, and it was my apple juice. Well, no, two. I had my apple juice stickers, and then I have my like Spring Friends sticker sheet. It has like 6 stickers on it, and I think in total, I spent about $60. I got 12 sticker sheets, and I have 36 stickers. That's $60. Okay, when I do the math so that was like 70 cents a sticker, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about the math on that, but in my last video, there was a clip of me on Sticker app, and I'm, putting in my stickers. You can see me like changing the colors of like the backgrounds, like, doing all that. And I was like, oh, like I'm gonna buy my stickers once I get my paycheck. Well, I was looking, and the stickers were like very small. Like they were like 1.5 by like 2 inches. And I was like, that is really, like, I did not realize like how small those were. Like I was like, no, like I want them to be like at least 2 by 2.5. And so I was like, okay, let me make them bigger. So when I did that, the price almost increased by like 3. And I was like, whoa, I don't have $500 to be spending on stickers right now. Like that's crazy. And I was like, hang on. And it was telling me, it was like, oh, each sticker is like 77 cents each, which like, that's not crazy. Like if you were to go out and buy a sticker for 77 cents, you'd be like, that's a steal. I have to price it at however much. And I also have to deduct the amount of like shipping and taxes and the stamp that it takes and all of those things. So at that point, I'm making like $1 off of every sticker. And so I was like, what? Obviously the math that I'm doing is like mental, and like it's not even like correct in any way, shape, or form. It's just like an exaggeration. So like, like if I was manufacturing, I would not be making any money. So then I'm looking into a sticker cutter, or I'm looking into like a cutting machine. So I've been looking at the Caesar Juliet cutting machine. I think it goes for like $500. Some places you can get it for $400 when it's on sale. And so I'm looking at that, and sticker paper and laminate. Each sheet of paper, if I bought it in bulk, I did the math earlier on this. If I buy 250 sheets of sticker paper and 250 of laminate, that would make it 67 cents per sheet of paper and like 33 cents per sheet of laminate. Therefore, each sheet of sticker paper with the laminate equals $1. So if I put that through the printer, I do the laminate, I cut out my stickers, that would make each sticker, because with the Caesar cutting machine, there's like 4 little like L shapes in the top and bottom of each, like the bottom of each paper, because it has to like register like where the sheet of paper is so that it knows where to cut. So I could probably do about 9 to 12 stickers per sheet of paper. That means that instead of manufacturing and getting stickers for 77 cents each, I can make them myself. And then each $1 sheet of paper and laminate and print together with 9 to 12 stickers on it, that would make each sticker like 11 cents if you were doing 9 stickers per sheet. Even cheaper if you can do 12. So I'm like, that makes so much more sense. The only downside is I would have to buy the laminate, the sticker paper, and the cutting machine, which is so not even crazy when you really think about it. It's just like right now when I'm not getting the sales in to be putting money out for things, like that's where it kind of gets difficult. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So supplies that you need for your shop. Sorry, back from that little rant about the cutting machine. Supplies, you really need to like figure out exactly what you need. So this is just like a brief list. Like there's like so much more that probably goes into this. So my cutting machine, you will need a printer if you're making stickers or prints like at home. The printer that I got is the Epson EcoTank 2850. I got it, I think I'll put it right up here. I got it for Christmas from my parents, and that was like such a huge help because like what 20-year-old is buying a printer? So yeah, thankfully my parents got me the EcoTake printer, which it's an inkjet, meaning that the like ink is like liquid. They're like bottles, so you just like pour it in. So thankfully, and I don't know if it's because it's inkjet, but the ink, I have a lot in there or what, but I have printed so many pieces of paper, like full sheets of paper. Okay, for my portfolio class, me and my friend Hayden had to print out our portfolios, and I printed ours full sheets of color on my printer. This was probably like at least 40 pages between me and his. And like the ink did not go down at all. Like front and back, full color. So yeah, I really love that printer, and it's kind of hard to like figure out in the beginning. And when you're printing on like white, like sheet, like a white sheet of like regular printer paper, the colors do not come out very well. So for my prints, I use the Epson like premium presentation matte paper. So that's what I'll be using for my prints. So the cutting machine, the printer, I'll need sticker paper and laminate, paper in multiple sizes. So I'm going to be doing 8x10 and 5x7 prints for my art shop. Packing supplies, so envelopes, flat mailers, bevel mailers, like packing tape, wrapping paper, packing peanuts, like whatever it is that you need to like secure your package. A label printer, you'll need stamps for shipping. Another thing that I have is like a food scale, so that helps like when you're weighing your package at home and doing labels that way. So if I haven't bought the label printer yet, but when I do, you can just like put everything into like the post office website. I literally have a post office within walking distance of my house. So go on a walk, drop my stuff off, and I'm good to go. So another thing is learning how the post office works. I still don't have that like completely down. Y'all know that scene from Harry Potter where like, I don't even know where they are, but there's like one goblin at like a table at the end of like this huge building, and like it's just like grouchy. That's how I feel like the post office is. Like the post office is the equivalent to like the DMV. I went to the post office one time, actually twice. The first time I literally just like walked in just to like see what it looked like, and I was like, I don't know. Post offices are weird and they freak me out, and I don't know why, but it's intense when you go in there, and like the workers are just kind of like angry and they're just trying to get you in and out. And so I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on like how the post office works, because like there's different like things, like there's like ground advantage, or then there's like, you know, priority mail, and I'm like, I don't know what the difference is, but like what's the cheapest yet still quickest option? So yeah, definitely check out your post office if you don't know how it works. Also, if anyone has any post office tips, let me know, because I've only shipped one thing and he said it was the cheapest option. Yet when the screen pulled up for me to pay, he was like, oh, pick ground advantage, that's the cheapest. Yet I saw another one underneath it for $3 instead of $6. And I was like, okay. And I picked the $6 one, but I was like, what was that? Like, I saw something else. So anyway, learn how the post office works, learn how to ship your stuff, and get a scale to weigh your belongings. So the post office talk leads me into labels. So like I said earlier, a label printer is on my list of things to buy. So I am personally using Squarespace for my website when I finally can like put it together and publish it. So I'm using Squarespace, and in order to use the Squarespace in order to have a website with Squarespace, you have to pay. So there's like $16 a month, $23 a month, and then there's like two more like tiers that are like higher up. And each of them have Like if you scroll down, each of them have like different like pros and cons, not pros and cons. They have different like levels of benefits, I guess. So the first level does not come with this option, so I'm gonna have to go with the second. But the second option, you can kind of pair, I'm pretty sure I have this right, you can pair Squarespace to the USPS website, and then it'll kind of like batch labels for you. So that's really nice because that's just like a lot of work, I feel like. I haven't done it yet, but it seems like that would be really helpful. So this is sort of the part where I'm nervous, is I have no idea what this sort of website is going to look like on the opposite side. So like from the buyer's, from like the purchaser's perspective, I don't know how it's gonna look like. Okay, like is it gonna send them a confirmation email when they buy it? Are they gonna be able to track their package? How do taxes work with all of that? Taxes and shipping are two of like the biggest things that are really stressing me out, because that's really just gonna like make or break this whole situation. If I can't send it to people after they've already bought it, well, that's awkward. How do I refund somebody? If someone's package arrives and it's broken or they never received it, how can I sort of like work around that? How do I know that they didn't receive it? Like, it's just sort of things like that, that like, those are my worries. And of course, I will cross that bridge when I come to it. I am obviously going to have to return something to somebody at some point. I'm going to have to issue a return to someone at some point for some reason. I'm going to have to ship something out because something didn't get processed through at wherever, or got lost or something. So those are just like the parts of the small business that are really going to suck. Another part that's really going to suck, yeah, now we're kind of getting into like the negative parts, which when you're working for yourself, being able to work for yourself and not have a boss, be flexible with your hours and stay at home, obviously it's going to come with some like negative, hard, not so fun parts, but I would honestly take those over working in an office or working for somebody else or like anything. I will take that over like having a big kid job. So the negative stuff is taxes. That's a huge thing, and it's actually so daunting to me because I'm like, I don't even know honestly where to start. So again, if anyone has any experience in this or can tell me any information, that would be lovely. Of course, I've been watching YouTube videos, TikToks, like really trying to like figure everything out, but it's like there's so much. And I know for a fact, once I figure it all out, I'm making a YouTube video so that you guys can understand like what is going on if you're looking to start a small business. But yeah, taxes is a huge thing. LLC, how do I know if I need an LLC? People are always like, oh yeah, like you should get one. Like, I understand like it protects your business so that like no one can sue me personally. They would just, but also I'm like, who's suing like a small like sticker business? Like, I don't know, but you never want to be too comfortable. End of the year taxes, like when I start filing, I have so far already made enough money from my small business just through commissions that I will have to file at the end of the year. So that kind of sucks. But then I'm like, okay, well, like, how do I do that? Because in order to file for a small business, does my small business have to be registered as an actual business? Probably. So then I'm like, okay, well then like, if I'm registering my business, does that mean I'm an LLC? There's like all these things. And then, tax write-offs. What counts as a write-off? Like, it's just, there's just a lot that goes into it. And like, obviously, Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't just start a small business and be successful right out of the gate, and you can't have all the answers right away. And yeah, those are just the things that are like really stressing me out about this whole thing. And I have a little over a month to figure it all out. So that's really cool. I also have thousands of dollars, not thousands, 1,000 and some change of things that I still need to buy for the business, which is also a negative part. And, you know, I'm not trying to be negative. These are just, I'm trying to be transparent, and these are just the things that need to be talked about, and they're the not so fun parts. But when you get started, you are going to spend a lot of money in hopes that you'll eventually get that money back and then some. But yeah, it's a long road, and it's just, there's just a lot to learn. And if anything, I hope that this video was really helpful. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. I will try to answer them as best as I can. And yeah, again, if you guys have any like input, any tips, anything, definitely let me know. If you like have people that like you're inspired by, or that like have tips on taxes, LLC, you know, anything like that, definitely send them my way. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.